for example, make significantly more an hour than our bus drivers who have 60 children behind them.
That was Maria DeBone reporting. North Carolina senators have announced a spending proposal today that would pay teachers and state employees more money. The increases are around 5% and are smaller than what the House had proposed, which with teachers already disappointed in that proposal. Meanwhile, the governor had asked for an 18% pay hike for teachers and an 8% raise for state employees.
More ahead, what Congress is doing about potentially malicious technology, a warning about AI from our Washington bureau.
Plus, a massive weekend in Salisbury will reveal the headlining act for the highly anticipated 2023 Cheerwine Festival. You're watching WXII 12 News at 10 on the Triad CW.
From Lexington to Louisville, WXII 12 News has you covered. Keep up with your local weather team across the Triad. Follow Lainey Pope on social media.
Well, it has been all over the news for the last couple of weeks, and now artificial intelligence is set to take center stage in our nation's capital tomorrow. Congress plans to hold hearings and hear some testimony from industry-leading experts.
Christopher Salas gets us the facts on artificial intelligence.
Get the facts on artificial intelligence. The first thing to know is, what exactly is AI? Well, Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it as the capability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. Now, we've been using certain forms of AI for years on some level. Like when you start typing something into Google, well, use Abraham Lincoln, for example, and you see how it offers suggestions to finish your thought. That's AI. But what you're hearing about now is generative AI. And this new generation of artificial intelligence can write text. It can have a conversation with you and even make its own images and videos. Large language models, those are programs like ChatGPT, and they can write a 1,000-word essay on Abraham Lincoln in a matter of seconds. To do that, the system draws from huge sets of data that's been inputted by humans. Let's go back to the definition of AI. Imitating intelligent human behavior. So while you may end up with an essay on Abraham Lincoln that's well written, it could also be full of mistakes and incorrect information because it's compiling the data in a way that could potentially be wrong. That's because AI systems are not all-knowing and they're not self-aware. They're just imitating what they've been taught. Like all technology, experts say this could make humans' lives easier and more efficient. But also like all technology, experts warn it could be used maliciously, like to scam people and create and spread disinformation. A final important reminder when it comes to AI. Like everything you see on the internet, just because it looks real doesn't mean it is. Helping you get the facts, I'm Christopher Salas.
The Cheerwine Festival is coming up this Saturday to celebrate the Southside Iconic Cherry Soda.
And this year, the live entertainment is going to be headlined by a famous indie rock band, Neon Trees. Organizers expect tens of thousands of people to indulge in all the Cheerwine-inspired food and drink, explore the arts, and enjoy some kid-friendly activities. A portion of all the drink sales will benefit Rowan Helping Ministries. That's a nonprofit that provides things like shelter, food, and transitional housing for local folks there. This free festival is happening May 20th from noon till 10 in the evening in downtown Salisbury.
Or if you're a little more north of Salisbury, the Kegs and Corks to Kick Cancer Festival will be downtown Madison the same day.
Yeah, it's organized by a cancer survivor who shared the goal of the event on the local Vibe this morning, right here on the Triad CW.
The more we can spread the word about what we do and the more we can have successful events, hopefully like this one Saturday, I just see it as the more people we can help. I mean, every week we're helping more and more people. The number of applications just continues to increase, unfortunately. Fortunately that we can help them, but unfortunately that, so many people are getting cancer. But yeah, events like this are just so important because we don't receive funding from the United Way or the government. And it's literally through the community support that we do all that we can do. And so the really cool thing is, like with this event Saturday, all of the funds will go to help local cancer patients.
The fundraiser will have food trucks, wineries, and breweries from 11 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The $20 tickets include tastings for all drinks.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I've heard something about a fairly significant NASCAR thing happening this weekend. Have you heard any whispers?
It from you.
You've heard it from me.
I
Okay.
heard it from you all week.
You do listen when I talk. I appreciate that. Lainey, we've got a lot going on, and there's a lot going on in your world too.
Yeah, it is the festival season, right? And as you mentioned, we've got a lot going on in North Wilkesboro with all of the racing this week and the big one this weekend. Winston-Salem, the Greek Festival is taking place this weekend. Today you saw the clouds across the area, some passing light rain. Tomorrow we could have some stormy situation developing in the afternoon and evening. A level 2 slight risk of severe thunderstorms. Piedmont, foothills, mountains as storms develop along and ahead of a cold front. So afternoon and evening, potential for some damaging winds, some hail, and can't rule out isolated tornadoes with this either. First warning radar right now showing you only a little bit of sprinkles here and there over Davidson County up into Allegheny County. I think it'll be a fairly quiet night. We're still going to have some clouds around. The temperatures are kind of cool. We're in the 60s. We've got 62 in Reidsville, 65 in High Point, and 68 in Asheboro. Some 50s from Meadows of Dan to Sparta at 63 right now in Pilot Mountain. Tomorrow morning should be in the mid to upper 50s in the mountains and around 60 degrees in the Triad and foothills with perhaps a light rain shower. Our front is out to the west. We're going to keep a close eye on this one as it will be moving east. There's no real severe weather with it tonight, but by tomorrow an area could blossom here between Nashville and into the Triad. It'll include Greenville as well as Asheville and Boone, Charlotte, Raleigh, and yes, all of the Piedmont Triad in that risk for severe thunderstorms to develop. Not only that damaging wind and hail threat, but also some heavy rain and some frequent lightning could come from these thunderstorms. Here's the timeline. Tomorrow morning is pretty quiet. By lunchtime, we start to see some showers developing as a warm front lifts into the area. By afternoon, we're going to see some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, maybe a line coming through in that 3 to 7 p.m. window, and then perhaps a secondary line coming through between about 7 and midnight into the heart of the Triad, perhaps by the late night hours too. So we'll time this out for you. Not much rain in the morning. A high of 81, becomes a little stormy in the afternoon. Breezes are up out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. We get to about 80 in the foothills too. We're also increasing that storm chance in the afternoon, and then another one again at night. For the mountains, it may start a little bit sooner in that 2-3 o'clock window. High temperature about 74 tomorrow afternoon. Here's a wider view for you. This shows you that warm front lifting north. You can see the temperatures getting into the 80s. That's where we're a little bit unstable south of that front, and that's why we'll have those storms kind of developing in a couple of lines lines that will move through. Once that sweeps through, though, things are quieter overnight into Wednesday morning, and it turns a little bit cooler too. We're going to see temperatures that drop way down, especially by Thursday and Friday morning. We're down into the 50s. Dew points are down, humidity is down. It's really comfortable Thursday and Friday, and even a little bit of sunshine. All-Star Race Week, your forecast does have small rain chances on Wednesday and Thursday. Looks like it'll be pretty dry on Friday, and then we've got a chance for some showers coming in again on Saturday, but hopefully out of here by Sunday. In the mountains, you've got highs in the 60s for a large part of the week and morning temperatures that are in the 40s. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. We'll give it to you again. Some morning showers around on Wednesday, pretty nice on Thursday and Friday, and then for the weekend, relatively dry as well, with highs that warm up into the upper 70s.
Thanks, Laney. Just a couple of weeks now until we could potentially see an economic collapse. What to do to brace yourself and your family and your finances for a national debt default. We'll hear what experts have to say when we return.
Memorial Day is quickly approaching.
Yes, it is, but a new travel agency survey is suggesting the economy is changing some family plans, particularly if you're planning to host. More than half of those surveyed by vacationers say they are adjusting their plans because of inflation, whether it's spending a little bit less on food or just spending in general. However, most are still planning some type of a road trip despite gas prices. And looking at gas prices, North Carolina averages $3.25 a gallon right now. At this same time a year ago, we were at $4.23 and still climbing.
Time is running out for Congress to nail down debt ceiling legislation before the June 1st deadline.
That is when the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says our country may run out of the funds necessary to repay the federal government's debt. Ivan Rodriguez explains what this means to everybody if we get there.
Washington's window to raise the debt ceiling is narrowing as the U.S. is just over 2 weeks away from potential default if an agreement isn't reached.
If Congress failed to raise the debt limit by the time we default, we would go into a recession. It would be catastrophic.
Weekend staff-level talks between Capitol Hill and the White House were productive, according to sources familiar with the talks. But as President Joe Biden may be preparing to meet with top congressional leadership Tuesday, the way forward appears unclear.
I think we'll be able to do it.
It doesn't seem to me yet that they want it.
A U.S. financial crisis could unleash chaos around the world and impact millions of Americans.
Defaulting on our debt isn't only about financial markets. It's about paying our Social Security recipients. It's about paying our troops. It's about paying the men and women who are working the border today.
Bankrate's Greg McBride says the uncertainty alone is enough to wreak havoc on family finances.
It doesn't take more than just a brief disruption to create a hole that households may take months, if not years, to dig out of.
This as Americans are already contending with record household debt, more than $17 trillion worth, according to a new report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
The more money that households are putting into debt payments, that's less money that's available for discretionary spending, which is a headwind to the economy.
But McBride says there are two key ways to protect yourself as economic conditions grow less stable.
Paying down debt and boosting your emergency savings. Focus on high-cost debt like credit cards.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Still ahead, plenty more to get to in our final half hour of news.
Including what political cases the Supreme Court is taking up, the question they'll decide over a lawsuit involving former President Donald Trump.
Plus, it is race week at North Wilkesboro Speedway. We've got a preview for you, including what some all-time great drivers in Winston-Salem are saying about the appeal of these short, historic hometown tracks. You're watching WXII 12 News at 10 here on the Triad CW.
You're watching WXII 12 News on the Triad CW.
The Supreme Court is taking up two prominent cases with important political implications.
And one pertains to former President Donald Trump. The other pertains to drawing district lines. First, the court will review a ruling which allowed congressional representatives to sue for records dealing with a hotel once owned by the former president. The question here is whether lawmakers may sue without enough votes for a subpoena. Secondly, the court will also hear a case about alleged racial gerrymandering in South Carolina. The Supreme Court will answer a question of whether race was indeed involved in the creation and drawing of this district map. We're also continuing to watch for the effects of the end of Title 42 at the U.S.-Mexican border.
And contrary to predictions, the flow of migrants is slowing. But now Border Patrol is saying there's still an issue with immigration. In the 3 days before Title 42 was lifted, Border Patrol averaged more than 10,000 apprehensions per day. The mayors of 5 major U.S. cities wrote to President Biden asking for more resources from the federal government.
We're at the breaking point, particularly with regards to resources in terms of capacity and space, as well as money.
They have gone down. My hope is they'll continue to go down, but we have a lot more work to do.
The Biden administration is attributing the decline to policy changes which create new legal immigration pathways and strict requirements for asylum seekers. In more local politics, businesses are the latest to weigh in on a new bill in North Carolina to ban abortions after 12 weeks.
As you may know, the governor, Roy Cooper, vetoed Senate Bill 20 over the weekend, and today a collection of business owners, more than 200 of them that signed a letter saying the legislation is bad for the economy, held a protest in Raleigh. One explains it comes down to where employees would like to live, meaning where businesses can hire and grow and thrive. We're expecting new action on this bill as early as tomorrow.
Wilkes County is expecting a boost to business as the NASCAR Cup Series race arrives at the North Wilkesboro Speedway this weekend. It's the first time in almost 30 years.
I caught up with some drivers to find out what makes this track so special. Here's a little bit of what Bowman Gray Stadium legend Tim Brown told us. About 50 miles east of North Wilkesboro Speedway, there's an even shorter racetrack that's just as historic and almost as old. Bowman Gray Stadium hosted its first race in 1949, just 2 years after Wilkesboro opened up. Tim Brown, the winningest driver in Bowman Gray history, has been coming here for a long time.
This place goes back, since I was a little bitty kid right over here playing in the dirt, as my grandpa had cars that raced here. It's a way of life. So it's how special it is to me.
Bowman Gray boasts being NASCAR's first and longest running weekly track. Brown owns the record for career victories and championships in its top series.
Well, the thing that's super important to me and that I cherish is the family that I sat with when I was 15, 16, 17 years old in the grandstands. I remember sitting there one night and telling them, like, hey, I'm gonna do this next year. They're like, what? They're like, yeah, I'm gonna race a modified next year. Like, you're crazy, you're not gonna do that. Those fans still today come and watch me race and will come by once a year and talk about, man, we still remember that night. We thought you were crazy.
Brown is a true rarity in sports. He's been competing at the same venue since 1992. Take away the COVID year in 2020, and this is his 31st season behind the wheel.
Programs, get your programs.
He believes that is a big part of the bond between fans, drivers, and their hometown track.
Other fans that I've had for so long, the wife would come by and be pregnant and I would sign their belly, and now their kid's old enough that they're bringing cards and they're grown and driving, and I'm still signing. That's why we do it, right? We do it for the fans. If we didn't pack this place every week, we wouldn't race here, right?
Wilkesboro was Brown's closest Cup Series track growing up, so he's been there many times as a fan and a competitor. He says he understands why NASCAR initially left in the 90s, but is thrilled for fans everywhere that it's finally back.
There's not a racetrack that's going to give you a better show than Wilkesboro and Martinsville, Bristol, Rockingham, Darlington. Like, those old wore-out racetracks put a show on. I'm really glad that NASCAR is now starting to revive some of these tracks and starting to run more road courses and doing things different.
Well, cars in general are getting more expensive, but Americans are also holding on to them longer than ever before. While demand for newer vehicles is in overdrive, new data shows Americans are keeping their cars for a record 12.5 years on average now. The reason? Likely because of the rising costs, leaving many drivers with no choice but to stick with what they have.
Do you feel safe driving this?
No, not at all. 200,000 miles? No.
you know, and then my kids are in it. I'm not sure if I feel too safe for 200,000 miles. You know, but do I have a choice? No, I don't have a choice.
Now, a byproduct of this trend is that auto repair shops are also seeing way more customers than they did just a few years ago.
Greensboro is starting a new program to prevent violence. It's called GSO Peace on Purpose. It will start with an event on June 2nd in 2 weeks at Barber Park for National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Besides fun activities, the event is going to spread information on mentorship, mental health, and programs for youth.
Parents of students in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District can expect to hear information from their schools about secure firearms storage. Last week, the school board unanimously passed a resolution that requires schools to share information on this topic. Students demand action. Volunteers at R.J. Reynolds and Reagan High Schools pushed for this resolution. This comes as the state does see an increase in gun sales. The Trace estimating it was a 282% spike in gun sales just last month compared to the previous year.
The High Point Police Department will be honoring fallen officers at a memorial service tomorrow with a ceremony. Organizers say it's also a way to pay respect to the danger officers go through daily.
By putting on that uniform that day, that officer is going out and committing to serve and protect, whatever that cost may be. Our officers put their lives on the line every single day. And I think that it's important to come together and show support for the ones that are currently serving and remember those that have gone before.
The service will be at 6 o'clock in the evening at Green Street Baptist Church in High Point. The department is going to give families of fallen officers a special gift as well.
And High Point's leg of the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics North Carolina is just 1 week out. This year, the High Point PD will take the torch to the Greensboro Police Department. The community is welcome to run alongside these officers or line up along the route to cheer everybody on. The relay wraps up in June.
An update tonight after a video surfaced catching a Concord police officer passing a school bus as a student was stepping out. Tonight, Sergeant Willett has been cited by the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. Additionally, the department put Willett on administrative duty pending the outcome of the investigation. Still ahead tonight, a heartwarming tale of sacrifice and love. A daughter gives a piece of herself to save her mother's life.
Then later, a woman saying "I do" to herself, proving that age is just a number when it comes to marrying the most important person in your life. A North Carolina woman had a very special Mother's Day. Her daughter gave her the gift of a lifetime, her own liver, with a limited time to find a donor, I should say. Doctors offered her the option to do a living donor transplant.
It was the first of its kind at UNC hospitals in 20 years. Her daughter says she took matters into her own hands using a kit from Amazon to verify that they'd be a match.
I've watched her be so sick for so many years, and I couldn't not try. I did it for all the future moments, so like my wedding, you know, me having kids.
In other news tonight, Marines stationed at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina are 70% more likely to develop Parkinson's disease than other Marines. That's according to a new study published in the journal JAMA Neurology. Researchers believe exposure to a chemical called TCE is the main culprit here. TCE used to be widely used as a metal cleaner.
And the CDC is warning of a potential resurgence of Mpox, previously called monkeypox. The agency is already investigating a cluster in the Chicago area. The CDC says breakthrough infections are possible. Vaccinations can reduce the severity of illness. Coming up, a wedding like no other. Meet the 77-year-old woman who is going to tie the knot with herself. A love story that takes Till Death Do Us Part to a whole new level.